Can you imagine experiencing your life as easy and peaceful most of the time, even when things around you seem to be in chaos? It truly is a possibility. That is the gift of living with soul and ego in harmony, living in self-awareness without judgment. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is energy medicine. Now, here is the host of Soul Healing with Traci Trimble, Doctor of Energy Medicine, Traci Trimble.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Traci, and I am a doctor of energy medicine. As a bioenergetic therapist, a spiritual guide, and an energy worker, I specialize in treating both the cause and the effects of depression, anxiety, acute stress, and chronic pain from the perspective of the human bioenergetic field. My passion is doing this, teaching. I love to teach energy medicine, such as Reiki, chakra balancing, and Hatha yoga as well. My gift is being able to see through the layers of energy that surround our physical bodies, called the bioenergetic field. And my superpower is the ability to connect, with your permission of course, directly to the voice of your soul energy, whether it's whispering or crying out. I have the capacity to hear it. Then as a trained talk therapist, I have the joy of speaking with your ego energy. It then becomes my job to guide and teach you how to bring your soul and ego back into harmony. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. On this week's session, we're going to be discussing the three most important areas of self-mastery. Last session, and if you didn't catch it, you'll find it in August 29th, 2018, in either Inspired Choices Network, YouTube, or iTunes. Go back and listen to it if you haven't, because it's the broad basis of what we're going to be talking about. Specifically, today we're going to be covering the three areas that are most important of the 12 that we went through last session. They include our physical well-being, our intimate love relationship, and our career, because it is most energetically important, but our career because it leads to our financial stability. And I'm going to explain in great detail why these are the fundamental foundational pieces of self-mastery. First, it's because when one or all three of these specific areas are out of alignment, it very much appears as though our life is going sideways, and it's quite challenging to get things under control. The other 9 areas seem to work themselves out when these 3 areas are in alignment. However, these 3 particular areas, our physical well-being, our intimate love relationship, and our career/finances, don't seem to work themselves out without doing the work. And what I mean by doing the work is a part of Reiki are precepts, 5 in particular. The third, and I think it's the fourth, and one of the most powerful precepts is I will to do my work honestly. Doing our work honestly is an incredibly important energetic concept that many of us miss because we get caught up in minding the business of others or in not witnessing where we are truly at or knowing who we want to be. Doing our work honestly means that we have the faith and the trust in our own selves, that we are interested in self-awareness, self-care, kindness, and compassion to ourselves. So today, I want to introduce you to doing your work honestly in these 3 areas specifically. But if you'd like a little bit more information on doing your work honestly, please go back to my May 16th, 2018 program called Reiki Precepts. But coming soon will be an entire session on doing your work honestly. So stay tuned for that. Before we dive into these three areas of self-mastery that are our foundation, that are our stability beneath us, I want to talk about how we're going to break them down into some sort of depth. I'm going to share with you once again the language of alignment, the 4 levels of spiritual awareness. If you would like in-depth information, please return to my April 18th, 2018 session, which breaks these 4 areas down in more depth. The first level of spiritual awareness through the language of alignment is physical. It's all about the here and now, this space and time. It's about matter, what we can touch, taste, feel. The second is emotional. It's not only about how we feel about something, it's also about the ways in which we're compelled to react and to respond, and most importantly, in understanding exactly what it is that our feelings are meant to be telling us, letting us know whether we are indeed in or out of alignment. The third level is mental. And although in self-mastery, the 4th level is intellectual, where we focus on the quality of thoughts, here at the 4 levels of spiritual awareness within the language of alignment, mental is a little bit different. It's not just about the quality of our thoughts. It's not just about being aware of positive and negative. It's also about having the capacity to bring soul and ego into harmony, to allow our mental capacity to be a space of debate, but also a space of clarity where soul speaks its truth, ego speaks its truth, and compromises are made in split seconds. And finally, the 4th level is spiritual. It's the ways in which we are connected to something greater than ourselves, but also to something great within ourselves. To me, it's the light of God's being within me, as taught by Dr. Paul Masters at the University of Sedona. So just before we begin to move into these 3 areas, it looks like we have a call. Melinda is on the line and would like to ask a question. So Melinda, let's go ahead and do that.
Traci. Hi, Traci. I don't know if this is something. Hi. I wasn't sure if this is something that you were going to be going into today, but if not, I have heard you speak quite a few times to doing a daily spiritual shower.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost you a little bit there. You've heard me speak of doing a daily spiritual shower, and will I be covering that today? Yes, I will.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Yep,
That's
I will make
I
sure that I cover that. Thank you for bringing that into my awareness, because that is exactly the power that we're going to be talking about today. So thank you very much for calling in, Melinda.
Wonderful. Thank you, Traci.
Thank you. Have a great day. All right. So when we get into how do we bring these areas into alignment, we'll talk quite a bit more about the spiritual shower. So again, Melinda, thank you for bringing that up. I will make sure that I cover what that is and how we do that. So let's get into these 3 areas of self-mastery that are the foundational pieces, the 3 most important areas. Physical well-being, intimate love relationship, and career. Why are these 3 most important areas? Well, first of all, your physical well-being is 100% and entirely about you and in your control. If you are not well physically, it's very challenging. for you to be able to focus on anything, physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. Our body is our vessel, and it's who you are from within. It really, truly is the only thing on this planet that we have control over. Next, our influential other, our intimate relationship. As human beings, we long to be intimately connected with someone. It's not just sexual, it's also all of the 4 levels of alignment. It's who we are with another. It's who we are in union with another's energy. It is literally 2 souls and 2 egos intertwined. It is the most challenging of life's relationships, but also the most rewarding. When we are not intimately connected to another human being, we often feel loss and don't know why it is. That person is meant to be a support for us, but in turn, we are also meant to be a support for them. Unlike many messages where intimate relationship is a 50-50 partnership, I need to disagree. It's a 100% commitment. You are 100% committed to yourself in that relationship, but you are also 100% committed to growing that relationship with another. And therefore, they too must also be in that equal percentage. That doesn't mean that relationships are always equal. As a matter of fact, the saying goes, opposites attract, would be the same within a relationship. You will always have more of something to offer, but it balances out when your partner also has something different and can be more to offer. And finally, our career. Our career is an important aspect of our life because it is who we are socially. It's who we are in service to others. It determines our role or our placement in society. And if we are unhappy in that role, then we're creating discord and turmoil. We're taking ourselves out of alignment. So physical well-being is who you are within your own self. Your intimate love relationship is who you are intertwined into the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual of a singular other. And career is who you are as a role, as a part of society. These 3 areas create a foundation. If you are in a good place here, standing on a solid foundation, and everything else is easily created from that happy space. However, if you aren't in a good space in one or all of these areas, the energy that it takes to feel safe, secure, and supported takes away from the capacity to create powerful and empowering magic in the rest of our lives. It's challenging, I know. And that's why I presented to you last session the 12 most important areas so you could digest them. So you could take the time on a scale from 0 to 10 to see where you're at. And today, we're focusing on these 3 most powerful pieces because I want to show you why they're so important and how to move through them, how to learn to take care of yourself. Here's the truth that I want to share just before we go to break. These 3 areas we will always be working on. We will always be learning, sharing, healing, growing, shifting. That's what we're here for. Human being is an experience within a space of time. We're always going to be doing our work here. Work doesn't mean challenging all the time, but every now and then we have to dig in. We have to get really clear on what we want, and we have to build a solid foundation. So let's start here. It's time for our first break of the show. When we return, we're going to go into detail of physical well-being. You're listening to Soul Healing with Traci Trimble, Doctor of Energy Medicine. We'll be right back.
Now back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Traci Trimble, and you are learning, sharing, and healing with Soul Healing with Traci Trimble, PhD. I am so grateful to have you here today, especially as we go through these three most powerful areas of self-mastery. We're going to cover physical well-being, remembering again that physical well-being is all about you, who you are from within. Our body is our vessel. It's what we were given to travel through this space and time called human being. It is not unlike a mobile home where everything we need is within it. The challenge is every now and then, or all too often, we become hoarders, and everything is inside of this mobile home. And we got to clear it out. We've got to take better care of it. We have to maintain it. And I realize it's not because we don't want to, it's because we get caught up in everything that's going on around outside of us. We forget that we have to mind our own business. We have to take care of our own self. For so many years, self-care has been a selfish, bad word. I want to take that back. We have to focus on our physical well-being. First, at the level of physical. It's all about self-care. And I covered in great detail what those 5 key areas are, but I'm going to really quickly whip through them right now. We have to breathe fully and deeply. Each inhalation nurtures and each exhalation detoxifies. If we keep breathing short, shallow breaths, we're creating stress. This physical body requires hydration. We need to be drinking water. We need to be drinking water. We need to be drinking at least half our body weight in pounds in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be consuming 50 pounds of water per day. That water comes from actually drinking water. It comes from healthy fruits and vegetables. We really need to get a quality sleep. We need to figure out what our quality sleep is. We need to be choosing healthy, nutritious meals, and we need to be moving. Our muscles, our tissues, our bones, and our joints are meant to be in action. A little bit of movement pays off. And once we understand our physical and we're taking care of that, it's going to be easy to hear our emotional. When we recognize what we're feeling, we can also hear its message. We feel good. We feel bad for a very particular reason. When we feel good, we're in alignment. We're speaking our truth. We're living our life towards our purposefulness. It's called happy, and we're meant to be there. But unfortunately, we feel bad too. And when I talk about feeling, I'm talking about emotions. I'm talking about happiness, joy. I'm talking about anger and bitterness. I'm talking about love versus fear. It's time that we start recognizing our emotions from the inside as a language, a response to the scenes, situations, and scenarios that we're in, and not as a reaction to what other people are thinking and feeling. Our emotions are telling us whether we are in or out of alignment with our truth. Also, our physical well-being is affected by our emotions. When we are too far out of alignment, our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems shut down, causing disease and dysfunction, asking us to stop doing what we're doing and start doing something more beneficial to this physical body. And that then begins to affect our mental. It's the quality of our thoughts. It's about how much we think we matter. You hate the way your body looks, or you're not interested in feeding yourself good nutrition. What are you telling your body? That it doesn't matter. Although it's the only way you continue to experience this lifetime. Our mental capacity, specifically our quality of thoughts around our physical well-being, is where our motivation comes from. If you want to exercise more, eat better, get better quality of sleep, you got to stop talking crap about yourself. I can't sleep. I hate water. I hate exercise. Do me a favor. Go to Google and Google Dr. Emoto, E-M-O-T-O. Watch 5 minutes of that. You're going to stop talking crap about yourself. Our body is primarily made of water. Depending on who you talk to, anywhere between 80 and 95%. Dr. Emoto talks to water. He takes a glass of water and he tells it how much he loves it and how beautiful it is. He takes a drop of that water and freezes it, and it becomes the most gorgeous, crystallized beauty under the microscope. But he takes a glass of water from the same source and tells it how much he hates it and can't stand it and it's disgusting. And underneath the microscope, it's deformed. It's dark. It's ugly. We are mostly water. The quality of your thoughts about yourself, about your life, about those around you matters. It is affecting how you look, how you feel, your capacity to move. Finally, spiritual in terms of our physical well-being. There's a sacred connection between body, mind, and spirit. Before we came to this space and time of human beings, the intention was that we would be a singular entity, a physical body with a mind called ego protecting us, with a soul on a journey, on a mission to collect experiences called human being. Now we're 3 distinct pieces, and it's up to you to put that back together, to bring yourself back to the physical wholeness that you're meant to be. You may not have caused this trauma that has broken you apart, but you are responsible for healing it. You can bring back your wholeness by gifting yourself permission to make physical well-being important to you. Let's talk about your intimate love relationship on these 4 levels. Your intimate love relationship is who you are together with another. Physically, it's about an intimate connection. That intimate connection is sexual, but it's so much more than that. It's physical. It's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. And all too often, it becomes just sexual and physical. Or sometimes not even sexual anymore, just physical. It's two people existing together, making their way in this world. Physically, it's about supporting one another. It's about touch, taste, feel. It's about supporting within the social infrastructure. Emotionally, your intimate love relationship is about vulnerability and trust. Not just you being vulnerable, but supporting someone to allow them to be vulnerable so you can trust one another, so that you know that you are safe, secure, and supported. Let's talk about mental when it comes to influential other. The quality of thoughts about your intimate connection to this other human being matters. If you hate someone, you're creating more discord. You're creating more disconnection. You're stopping any opportunity of being within an intimate relationship that's healthy. So step out of fear and anger and hate and figure out how you're going to fix this. And finally, the spiritual connection to your influential other is sacred. That's your person. You are their person. Who are you going to be for you, but also for them? Because together, we're stronger. Take care of yourself first. Fix your intimate relationship if it needs fixing, or find yourself an intimate relationship to be in. We're going to take a quick break, but I do have a question before we go there, and it's from Alana. Hi, Alana. Her question is, I have a long commute to work because I want to live by my family who live in the suburbs. But the industry I work in only takes a toll on my body. Is there something I can do to help my physical body while maintaining this lifestyle? Or do I owe it to my body to move closer to my work, my family? Okay, so I love this question because it's deep and it could have just a surface answer, which I am not going to give to you. This is exactly the kind of questions we need to ask ourselves in order to do our work honestly. We have to stop looking for the answers to come from outside. We have to get good with ourselves. It's really, really hard for your physical body to support you when you're under so much stress. Now, being close to your family is very powerful, but loving your career is too. So we've got these three things all jumbling together, and we're asking, what's best for us? The answer is that can only come from within you, Elena. It can only come from within everyone else. But I'd start with focusing on your physical well-being, because as you become stronger and more empowered, so does the capacity for your career, which we're going to talk about in full detail in just a moment when we come back from the break. So I'll tie this question back in together. But let me start here. Breathe. Focus on a meditative breath that heals your body every day. Make sure you're getting the water that you need and understanding your sleep patterns and the quality of your sleep. Especially with a commute, make sure that your water and your food are of high quality and get some movement. all of those things we have the capacity to do. I know this doesn't necessarily answer your question, Alana, but you owe it to your body, to your intimate relationship, and your career to be happy. What's the best possible solution that comes from within you, not from outside of you? I'm going to take a couple minutes to break. When we return, we're going to go into great detail about career finances, and I'm going to tie Alana's question back in. And I'm also going to remember that I'm talking about the daily spiritual shower. You're listening to Soul Healing with Traci Trimble.
Now back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Our topic today is the 3 most important areas of self-mastery. There are 12. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and character. Intimate love relationship, parent-child relationship, and all other social relationships. Career, finances, quality of life, and vision for the future. And today, we're talking about the 3 most important areas: our physical well-being, our intimate relationship, and our career. The reason that we're talking about these areas is because this is where our true, honest work is. The areas which affect us the most, which require us to have the most empowering energy to move through this lifetime called human being. Our physical well-being is all about who we are from within. This physical body that is presented to our influential outside others. Our intimate relationship is who we are intertwined with another human being. That's our person. And next, we're going to talk about our career. It's who we are as a part of society. It's our role in this social planet called Earth, in this experience called human being. Career is not exactly what you think it is. And I would like you to take a moment to really clearly hear what I'm about to say. So take a deep breath in and listen. Your career never ends. It is the way in which you are in service to others. It is the way in which you empower and energize yourself by being a part of society. The challenge is in this human nature, most especially in North America, is that career and finances have become so intimately connected that it's really hard to split them apart. And we begin to do things as a career just to make money, just to fit in to society. That's not what our career was ever meant to be energetically. Your career is how you are in service to others. Making money, being in service is of value. And this isn't some woo-hoo bullshit about purpose either. It doesn't matter if you are the garbage man on my street or the brain surgeon that just saved my friend's husband. As long as you love what you're doing. If you don't crazy love what you're doing, I'm going to ask you to step back and ask, why are you doing that? Sometimes we crazy love what we're doing, but the environment that we're in is toxic. Why are you still there? You create your happiness and you bathe in your misery. Physically, our career is our role. It's when someone says to you, "Oh, hi, who are you?" "Oh, I'm Traci. What do you do?" That's always the second question. What do you do? Well, I could tell you my job title. I'm a doctor of energy medicine. Or I could tell you my truth. I teach people to bring soul and ego into harmony so that depression, anxiety, acute stress, and chronic pain doesn't kill them. What do you do? It doesn't matter what your job is. What matters is how are you feeling fulfilled in being in service to others. And that's why finances get chopped up in here. Although finances is its own element and extremely important if you live in North America. Please don't get me wrong. I get everything costs money and we have to pay for it. But we don't need half the crap that we have. We don't need it. We need food and shelter, clothing. I would like to argue transportation also. But that's also because we've spread out so vastly. Physically, career and finances become the role in which you are judged by in society, by yourself and by others. But emotionally, your career is how you feel empowered while in service. And if you've never considered that, I want you to possibly consider that anything else that is out of alignment in your life will have to do with how you feel about what you do for a living. Mentally, these thoughts are about your contribution. Whether you're consciously aware of it, you are either saying, I contribute, or I don't. And that weight is heavy on us. It's very heavy. And spiritually, our career is how we're contributing to something greater than just ourselves, than just society, but as the world as a whole. And yes, there's going to be arguments that, well, what I do isn't changing the world. No, but if you're happy doing it, it's changing you and the people around you and the people around them and exponentially the people around them. So if we are happy in what we do and we can generate revenue, we are contributing to this society, to this planet called Earth. Some people contribute gigantically. Others may appear not to, but they're happy and they love what they do. They're good people. Who are you? Who are you as a physical being? Who are you in an intimate relationship? And who are you in your career? So, Alana, I want to come back to your question. If you love your career and it is fulfilling to you, but it's causing harm to your body and your intimate relationship because your commute is overwhelming, then yeah, move closer to your job. That's where you spend the most of your time. And then figure out how you prioritize getting to your family whenever you can. But if you can't stand your career or that particular environment is toxic, then it's time to change. And if being closer to your family is a priority, then it may mean finding how you can be in service closer to home. It's possible, believe me. I was an executive in the beer industry making a ridiculous amount of money, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And now, 12 years later, I'm right back where I was. Except this time, I crazy love what I'm doing. I totally respect my physical body, and my intimate relationship isn't paying for my misery and my depression and my anxiety. It matters. It really matters. Take physical well-being, intimate relationship, and your career and break them down into physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Know that this really is the place to start if you want a solid foundation. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to talk about spiritually showering and what it is and what you can do to spiritually shower yourself that relates directly to your physical well-being, your intimate relationship, and your career. I'm Traci Trimble, and you're listening to Soul Healing. We'll be right back.
Now back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're talking about the 3 most important areas of self-mastery. This is an advertisement alert, so bear with me. This is one of my absolute favorite programs to teach. Every 3 months, September, January, and April, I teach a 12-week program where we go through and we dissect every area in minute detail in a small group. We reprogram ego and soul back into finding harmony and truth in these areas. If you are local to the Durham or Greater Toronto area, please feel free to join me live. It's every Tuesday from 6 to 9, again starting in September, January, and April. But coming at the end of November, this will be an online program offering. That's November 2018. I hope you'll consider doing it. It is a life-altering program, and it gives you the capacity to dive deep into your truth while being supported and guided. So let's get back to the show, the 3 most important areas of self-mastery. These foundational pieces are physical well-being, our intimate relationship, and our career. I am not saying they are all that matter, but I am saying that if you are not on a solid foundation, if you are not in a good place here, life can be very challenging because these areas are not only where we spend the most amount of our time, they are also where we spend most amount of our energy. Whether we're aware of it or not, we are 100% of the time holding space for these areas of our life. And if you don't know what holding space means, it means the piece of you, a piece of your strength and courage and your will is always present in those areas, making sure that your light is always shining. And if it's a struggle for your light to be shining in any of these areas because you're not happy or fulfilled, that is killing you. It's taking physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual life from you. So how do we bring some attention and awareness here? So earlier in the show, I was asked to talk about spiritual showering. Spiritual showering is the ways in which we bring light into our bioenergetic field to fill ourselves up, where we invite the thriving energy to push out the distracting energy. I like to equate it to you are a lemon-filled jelly donut. And that lemon filling is not beneficial. It's causing you harm and suffering. Your life isn't the way you want it to be. On the inside, you are a mess. You want to be a raspberry-filled jelly donut. Well, yeah, you could rip yourself open, scoop out that lemon filling and fill yourself with raspberry and push yourself back together, but that's not going to happen. That's going to be traumatic and destructive. And although you may not have ripped yourself apart and pulled that lemon filling out, it may have happened, and you're responsible for fixing it. So very gently through spiritual showering, the raspberry jelly is pushing out the lemon jelly slowly and gently. We spiritual shower by doing things that bring us peacefulness, that help us reset our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. For me, that's yoga, meditation, chakra balancing, being in nature, awesome sex with my partner, cuddling with my dogs, things that I just love and seem like they are no effort. If you play music, play music. If you get caught in a sport, play a sport. Whatever it is that brings you that, don't have to think about it, I'm filled with joy, do it. It's essential. But what's most essential is that we do it every day for at least 90 seconds. And I think what I'm going to do is add spiritual shower to my list of shows, so that coming soon there is an entire show on spiritually showering, because it's an important concept to understand, especially the 3-day theory. We spiritually shower so that we can get all of the goop off of us, all of the lemon filling out of us, so that we can be whole, so we can stop ripping ourselves apart when things don't go our way. It seems like that's all the time that we have today. And as always, I am so incredibly grateful to have spent this time with you. I trust that you got exactly what you needed from me today, but if you have not, it is your responsibility to ask for what you need. I'm here to give that to you. Send your questions, concerns, or ideas by email to Traci, Traci, at tracitrimble.ca. If you're curious about what I do or how I can personally guide and mentor you, please check out my website at tracitrimble.ca. Next week, be sure to join me as we discuss serving humanity. I'm going to ask you plain and simply, is who you are and what you have to offer of yourself to others a part of serving humanity? Or must there be more that you're required to be, do, or have? And it's going to tie back into everything we talked about today, the physical, the intimate relationship, the career, is who you are and what you have to offer serving others. The answer, by the way, is yes. Until next time, gift yourself permission to find awareness without judgment. Be soul and ego in harmony. This is Traci Trimble, Doctor of Energy Medicine, and I'm signing off with an incredible amount of gratitude.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Soul Healing with Traci Trimble, PhD.